And grab yourself a pillow or a cushion if you haven't already got one. We're going to end up in a supported bridge, I think. So just something to go underneath your bum would be quite nice for the end. And then if you want to turn some lights down and just make it all nice and kind of chilled out for yourself, just do whatever you need to do. Okay. Okay, I've put my mic in, so can you just give me the thumbs up that you can still hear me? Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start in a seated position. So if you just come onto your mat and find yourself a comfortable seat, and if you've got that cushion and you want to sit on it, then you can do. And then once you're comfortable, once you've adjusted yourself as much as you need to, just gently close your eyes. And bring your awareness to your breath, just moving very gently in and out of the nose. So you just start to watch the movement of your breath, and as you do that, just see if you can consciously release the shoulders down. And let your weight drop down into the support of the earth. So a real sense of grounding. You might send some roots down. Imagine they're moving down through your sitting bones, so any part of you that touches the earth. Just so you get a sense of being grounded. And just check in with your lower jaw, allow that to relax. We're just going to work a little with the breath. So we're going to inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. So it's not a quick 4, nice and slow. Just in your own time. I'm not going to count it because we're all slightly different. Inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4. And then just keep that going, a nice smooth rhythm. And if the count of 4 suits you, stay with it. And if you feel that you could lengthen that a little to maybe 5 or 6, then do that. So remember, we don't want to be struggling with the breath. There doesn't want to be any tension through trying to make the breath too long. So just whatever falls within your body's natural ability. Try and keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to take a couple more rounds. so following your next exhale, just let your breath return to normal. So as much as you can through your practice, so I say this all the time, but especially tonight, keep your awareness on your breath. Poses are just going to be gentle stretches, nothing strenuous. So keep this connection to your breath. As you next exhale, gently take your chin down towards your chest. Float open your eyes and raise your gaze. Okay. And then from there, just bring your hands onto your shoulders. As you inhale, start to draw your elbows in towards each other, and as you exhale, take them out wide. Inhale, draw the elbows in. Exhale out wide. A couple more. And then take it back in the opposite direction. It's just starting to move through the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Okay. And then just release your hands back down alongside you. We'll take the right hand down to the mat. And as you inhale, sweep the left arm in front of you and then up overhead. So it's a side body opener, but also you're almost drawing back through that left shoulder, so only a little through the chest as well. And then we'll bring the left arm back down in front and to the floor, and the same with the right arm, so it can come in front of you and up. And then we'll just work through a few of these, just finding this dynamic movement. Keep reaching up through the crown of the head, so you keep the spine nice and long. Stay grounded into your sitting bones. We'll just do a couple more. Perfect. And then gently bring yourself back through to center, through to upright, and find your way into child's pose at the back edge of your mat. So knees, if you want more support, can be together, but otherwise we can have them a little bit apart. Creep your hands out in front of you, bring your forehead down onto your mat if it will come, and onto your cushion if it won't. And then make this nice and soft. Just let your shoulders relax. Coming back to the breath. I'm going to start to add in some movement. So use your next inhale to bring yourself up onto all fours. So if you've taken your knees wide, you'll need to draw them back in. And then use your exhale to take you all the way down onto your mat. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, just a gentle back bend there. And then as you exhale, come back down, press into the hands, take it back into child's pose. And we'll move through a few of these, so nice and soft. Inhale up onto all fours. Exhale, lie yourself down. Inhale through into your back bend. And then come down, use your exhale to take you back into child. Inhale to come up. Exhale down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child. And we'll just do one more of these. Just move in your own time with your own breath. And we'll find our way back into child's pose. And then once you're there, just bring the hands in towards you a little. Thread your right arm through underneath your left. Bring your right shoulder and temple down onto your mat or onto your cushion if you want support. Left hand to the lower back, or perhaps tucks into the top of the right thigh. Just a couple of breaths here, finding your twist, lengthening the tailbone out behind you. And then bring your left hand back down onto your mat. Use your inhale to come up onto your hands. We'll do the other side. Thread your left arm through underneath your right. Temple and shoulder to the mat. Right hand to the lower back or the top of the left thigh. Fix your gaze on one spot. Try not to let the attention wander. And then use your next inhale to bring your right hand back down and to come back up onto your hands. And we're going to walk the hands forwards and lay ourselves back down onto our stomachs and then roll over onto your right side. So support your head in your right hand. And we're going to bend the left leg, take a hold of the left foot with the left hand and draw the heel in towards your glute, in towards the buttock. So just a couple of breaths, just find a stretch through the front of the left leg. And then we're going to release the left leg. Oh, I'm knocking the baubles off the tree. Straighten the right arm out and rest your head, so your right ear comes down onto the upper right arm. And then you're going to bend the right arm and take the hand behind you, sort of down between your shoulder blades, like we're doing Gomukhasana. Left hand will come behind you, and you can either hold on to your t-shirt, or if you can reach to hold on to your opposite fingers, you can do that. Couple of breaths here, just opening through the shoulders. If it feels okay, roll over onto your back. If you do have candles around you, just make sure you're not going to roll onto your candles. Just a couple of breaths here, opening through the shoulders. And then if you've rolled onto your back, we'll roll back over onto our right hip, release the arms. So we're going to turn over and do the other side. So I'm going to scoot round this way so that I'm still facing you, but roll over onto your left hip. Support your head in your left hand. Bend up the right leg. Take a hold of the right foot with the right hand and draw the foot in towards your towards the buttock. Try and keep the shoulders nice and soft. Face nice and soft. And then release the right foot. You're going to extend the left arm out, so you're going to rest your head on the upper left arm, bend the elbow to take the hand between the shoulder blades. Right hand behind you, maybe you hold your t-shirt, maybe you can hold on to opposite fingers. And the option is there to roll over onto your back if you wish. Any shoulder issues, feel free to leave this out. Or to just find a place that works for you. Lovely. Use your next inhale to roll back onto your side. If you were on your back, release out your arms, and then we'll roll back over onto our stomachs. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Keep the shoulders soft as you come up for a back bend. Reach up through the crown of the head. And then just turn to look over your right shoulder. Use your inhale to come back through to centre. Exhale to turn out over the left shoulder. Inhale, come back through to centre. Exhale, come all the way down onto your mat. Press into your hands. And then as you inhale, find your way back to a child's pose, but with the toes tucked. So just a breath here, lengthen the tailbone out behind you, and then keeping the toes tucked, we'll find our way into our downwards facing dog. Okay, so from here, just pad out your feet, give the head a little bit of a shake. Just find a stretch in the back of your legs. Stay connected to your breath. And then use your next inhale to walk your hands in towards your feet. So just find a very easy dangling forward bend. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Again, just really yin style, no effort. Again, you might give the head a little bit of a shake. Use your exhales to breathe out tension. And then release your hands back down. You're going to walk your way back into your downwards facing dog. And then from there, use your next inhale to step your right foot forward between your hands and drop down onto your left knee. So if you need any padding underneath the left knee, you can grab your cushion or a blanket. As you inhale, draw the heart forward, reach up through the crown of the head, soften the shoulders. And as you exhale, take the hips back. So you're going to straighten the right leg to your own degree. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, take it back. A couple more. Inhale forwards. You can always take your hands to blocks or bricks if you have any there. And then the next time you come forwards, we'll stay there. So make sure your right knee is stacked over your ankle. Bring the hands up onto the right thigh. Square the hips and the shoulders forwards. Engage the inner thighs by gently squeezing in. And then take your arms out wide. Elbows wide, so cactus arms. And then reach up through the sternum. So you're lifting up through the chest. Reach up through the crown of the head. Keep the back nice and long. And then we'll find a twist. So bring your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Hands to prayer there. Extend out to the crown of the head. And turn to look out over your right elbow. Again, keeping that awareness on the breath. Inhale, come back through to center, hands down to frame your right foot, and then we'll find our half splits pose. So take your hips back, straighten the right leg to your own degree, keep the spine nice and long, and as you exhale, fold forwards over your right leg. So we're early in the practice, but I know that one or two of you are really quite flexible. If you wanted to go into your splits pose, you could do. Try and square off the hips so you're drawing the right hip back. Keeping space in your chest. 2 more breaths. And then your next inhale will start to come back through to our lunge. So bend the right knee again, come forwards, bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot, so you walk your right foot out to the side an inch or so. So we're coming into lizard. You can stay here. You can drop your forearms down onto your mat if you wish. If you want to make it a stronger pose, you can tuck your left toes and lift the left knee away from the mat. But we're kind of keeping it lighter tonight, so I'm going to keep my knee down. Just a sense that your right knee draws in towards your right shoulder. Keeping space in the chest. And then we're going to take this into a twist. So you could stay on your forearms if you're already there. Turn your right foot to the diagonal. So your toes start to point out towards 2 o'clock. And then you're going to extend your right arm out behind you. So you might be on your left forearm, you might be on your left hand. Wherever you are is fine. So the right arm reaches back out. You have the option, if you wish, to pick up the left foot with the right hand and draw the foot in towards you. Just do what suits you. Take one more breath. And then take your left foot back down onto your mat. Hands come back down onto your mat. Let's just step nice and gently back, downwards facing dog. Couple of breaths there. And then on your next inhale, we'll step the left foot forward between the hands, drop down onto the right knee. So padding if you need it. We'll find that movement first. So inhale, the hips come forwards, heart lifts. Exhale, hips move back. And you might work towards straightening the left leg. Inhale to draw it forwards. Exhale to take it back. Couple more. And then the next time you come forwards, we'll stay there. We'll bring the hands up onto the left thigh. Reach up through the crown of the head, soften the shoulders, and take your elbows out wide, so finding your cactus arms again. Just gently squeeze the inner thighs in towards each other. Keeping that nice, even breath. And then bringing the hands together, taking the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh and finding your twist. So reach out through the crown of the head. If you're wobbly, look down. Otherwise, you're looking beyond your left elbow. Take one more breath. And then bring the hands to frame the left foot. Take your hips back and find that half splits pose. Lengthen the spine as you inhale, exhale, fold forwards. Again, if you wanted to move more into your splits, you could do. Just move mindfully. Shoulders stay soft wherever you are. One more breath here. And then use your next inhale to come forwards again. So you're back into your lunge. And we'll take the left foot out to the left a little so you can bring the left arm to the inside of the left leg. So again, perhaps you're going to stay there on your hands. There is the option to drop down onto your forearms if you wish. And again, if you wanted to make it stronger, you could tuck the right toes and lift the right knee. Depends where you are tonight, what's right for you. Just draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder. Okay. So you can stay on your forearms if you wish. You can come up onto your hands, or you can stay on your hands, wherever you are. Inhale, the left arm will reach out behind you. So you find a twist. The crown of the head is reaching towards the front edge of your mat. And if you wanted to pick up the right foot with the left hand and draw the foot in towards you, you could do. Just mindful of knees or anywhere else that might be giving you issues. Take one more breath. Release your right foot back down onto your mat. So come back through to center. We're going to step it back, downwards facing dog. Pad out the feet. Find some movement. Or don't, whatever feels appropriate. And then use your next inhale to step your right foot through between your hands, and again drop down onto your left knee. So the hands will again come up onto your right thigh, but this time we'll find a side bend. So right hand stays there, left arm reaches up alongside the ear, lengthen, and as you exhale, tip over to your right hand side. So you're reaching out through your left fingers. Finding as much space between your left hip and your left fingertips as you can. And then inhale, come back through to upright. And you're going to bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Now, you're going to pivot on the left knee. So the left knee will stay where it is pretty much. Your left foot will pivot round underneath you. And you come to a kind of a half kneeling, half squats position, hopefully. So if this doesn't work for you for any reason, feel free to not do it. Couple of breaths here. So it's like your right elbow is pressing into the right leg. Spine is nice and long. Connecting again to breath. And then we'll release the hands back down. So you're going to come out the way you went in. So you'll walk your hands back as your left foot swings back behind you. So you're back in your lunge. Tuck your left toes. Step back, downwards facing dog. And then we'll do the same the other side. So inhale, left foot steps forwards between the hands. Drop down onto your right knee. Untuck the toes. Hands come up onto the left thigh. Soften through the shoulders, and then take the right arm up alongside your ear, lengthen and tip over to your left hand side. So just breathing space into the right side, ribs, waist. Take one more breath. Inhale, come back through to upright. So both hands now to the inside of that left foot. So same as we did last time, you're going to walk your hands to your right, pivot the right foot underneath you. So you're going to sit down on the right foot, and the left leg is in, excuse my back to you, the left leg is in like a half squat, half Malasana pose. So press your left elbow into the left leg just to help you open the hip, reach up through the crown of the head. Any issues with this at all, you just come straight out. Last breath here in this pose. And then take your hands back to the floor. You're going to come out the way you went in. So pivot back to face the front edge of your mat. Tuck your right toes underneath. Step it back, downwards facing dog. Have a moment there. Just draw down through your heels. And then we're going to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Your left foot to the outside of your left hand, and sit down into your full squat, your Malasana. So I'm just going to turn around to face you so you can see what I'm doing. So if you need to, just sit your bum down on the floor instead, and work with the, or on your cushion as well would be helpful. So you just find your version of this pose. Let's bring the backs of the hands together. So rather than have the palms together, backs of the hands, and then keeping the base of the hands together, just draw down as much as you can. So don't force this. Couple of breaths. And then just release out the hands, maybe just give them a little bit of a shake. Take your left hand to the floor and your right arm up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Now option 1 is you stay here. Option 2 is that you internally rotate the left shoulder, wrap your left arm around your left shin, right hand comes behind you and you find the bind. So you're either arms extended or you're binding. Again, that awareness of the breath. And then come back through to centre. Lengthen the spine again as you inhale. As you exhale, right hand down, left arm up. And there's the option to find the bind if you wish. Find as much space in your chest as you can. And then use your next inhale, come back through to centre. Hands down to the floor. We're going to start to straighten the legs. Heel toe your feet so they're about hip width apart. Bend the knees or straight legs up to you. Come back into your dangling forward bend. Maybe just a little bit of a rock forwards and backwards. Release your hands down to the mat, and then we're just going to step it back, downwards facing dog. So we're going to move through into some hip openings. So we will either now come through into pigeon. If you want to do eye of the needle instead, feel free to lie down on your back and take eye of the needle. So for pigeon, you'll bring your right leg forwards, right knee behind your right wrist, and extend your left leg out behind you. If you're coming into eye of the needle, you're on your back and you've got your right foot on your left thigh and you're drawing the left leg in towards you. So both poses doing the same thing. We're in pigeon. If it feels comfortable for you, we can fold forwards. Couple more breaths here. Okay. So if you're in pigeon, as you inhale, come back up onto your hands. We're going to take this into a twist. You're going to walk your hands out to your left. Let's go this way. Hands out to the left. And then you can stay there, or you can drop your right forearm down onto the mat and work there, or you can drop your right shoulder down onto the mat and work there. Think about left hip forwards. So your left hip draws down towards your mat. If you're in eye of the needle, you're just going to keep your right leg where it is on the left thigh, take your left foot back onto the floor and drop your legs over to your left hand side. So one way or the other, we are all twisting. Okay, so if you're in pigeon, Use your next inhale to come back up onto your hands, to come back through to centre. And we're going to roll over onto the right hip and bring the left leg in front of us so you come through into Gomukhasana. And if the full Gomukhasana pose doesn't suit you, it's right leg extended and you've got your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. So just make sure knees are comfortable with what you're doing. You can sit on your cushion if you wish. Lengthen as you inhale, and as you exhale, fold forwards. If you're on your back for eye of the needle, you bring your legs back through to centre, so you come out of your twist. Cross your right thigh completely over your left thigh, draw both knees in towards you, and then holding onto your shins, you just gently draw the feet towards the head. So again, we're in exactly the same pose. One of them's upright and one of them is on our back. So wherever you are, take a couple more breaths. Face and shoulders stay soft. And then we're just going to gently release out of the pose. So if you're sitting up, you'll use your inhale to come back through to upright. And then just release out your legs. And we're all going to find our way back into downwards facing dog. If you wanted to find some movement there, you could do. And when you're ready, we'll do the other side. So your next inhale will bring your left knee to the outside of your left wrist for pigeon. Your right leg will extend out behind you. And once it feels okay to do so, as you exhale, you fold forwards. If you're doing eye of the needle on your back, it's left foot onto right thigh. Couple more breaths. Try to stay present with each breath you take. So if you are in eye of the needle, take your right foot back down onto the mat, keep the left leg where it is and drop the legs, the knees over to your right hand side. If you're in pigeon, use your inhale to come back up onto your hands. Walk your hands to the right. You can stay there, you can drop down onto your left forearm, you can come down onto your left shoulder. So again, we should all be in a twist. Think about drawing the right hip down. Shoulders, face, all stay soft. So if you're in pigeon, inhale to come back through to centre. You're going to roll over onto your left hip. Draw the right leg in front of you so the right foot comes, or the right heel comes over toward your left hip. And again, just straighten out that left leg if you need to. Keep the spine nice and long as you inhale, and as you exhale, folding forwards there. If you were in eye of the needle, you're crossing your left thigh completely over your right thigh, drawing the knees in towards you, and then you can slide your hands down your shins just to your own degree and draw your feet in towards you. Find that slow, even breath. Let's take one more breath. So if you're lying on your back at this point, I'm just going to release the legs out, knees in towards the chest, little rock from side to side. If you're in Gomukhasana, I'm going to release out the legs, bring the hands down and step it back downwards facing dog. And then from down dog, when you're ready, just stepping through to a seated position, and then also lying yourself down on your back. Now this is where we're going to use our cushion. If you've got a bolster and you wanted to use your bolster, you could. But the cushion is going to come underneath the sacrum. So underneath the hard part of the pelvis. And then if it feels okay to do so, we're going to straighten out the legs. You can rest your hands on you or take your arms alongside you. If you know this pose and you've got a couple of cushions there, that you could use them. I'll just be here for a few more breaths. So just keep it all nice and soft. To everything slow down. Okay, take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, just bend your knees, take your feet onto your mats, lift the hips as you inhale just a little, take your prop out from underneath you and slowly bring your spine back down onto your mat. And then once you've done that, bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop open. If you want support, clasp your hands, clench your fists and take your fists underneath the tops of the thighs there. And if you've got blocks or bricks or cushions, you could use those. You find your mind wandering off, just gently guide it back to your breath. Okay, one more breath here. Take your hands behind your thighs, draw your knees in towards each other, bring them in towards your chest. So have a little rock from side to side. And then gently drop your knees over to your right hand side. Oh, if you've got room. And extend your left arm out. Turn to look out over your left hand. Soften the muscles of the shoulders, the muscles of the face. You might come back to that count with your breath, so whether it was 4 or 5 or 6. Use your next inhale to bring your head back through to centre. Then we'll draw the legs back through to centre and then drop your knees to your left. Extend out your right arm and turn to look out over your right hand. Perfect. Use your next inhale to come back through to centre. And then we are moving into our Shavasana. So straightening out the legs. If you want to grab a blanket, put your cushion, your pillow underneath your head. Just get anything you need for your relaxation. If you wanted to mute the lights even more. And then when you're ready, lying yourself back down. Finding a comfortable position. Closing down the eyes. Softening your shoulders. Again, your face. Slowing down the breath. Focusing a little more now on each exhale that you take. So a little more awareness, a little more intention to your out breaths. And then just before you start to drop too deeply into your relaxation, take a little time now to think about the wonder and the mystery of nature. So we're here at the winter solstice. Shortest day, longest night. Cold. So we tend now to hold back nature. We hold it back with the electricity. We hold it back with central heating. Take a moment to think about what life would have been like without those. How our ancestors must have lived. and how really we have lost in a lot of ways that connection to nature. And so sometimes we get a sense that we are more powerful than we actually are, until something like COVID comes along and reminds us. So perhaps setting an intention to walk a little more humbly upon the earth as we journey onwards. And then let that thought go. Come back to your breath. And see if you can drop a little deeper into your mat. See if perhaps you can let go just a little bit more. Slowing down the rhythm and the pace of the breath. And as that happens, the rhythm, pace of your mind starts to slow too. And we find we can start to let go completely. If you wanted a visualization, imagine you're lying on a cloud. And with each exhale, you drop a little deeper into your cloud. With each out breath, you sink a little further. And let go a little more. And then when you are ready, start to draw your awareness back into your body. awareness of all the places you touch the floor. An awareness of the space in which you lie. Let your breath begin to deepen. And when you're ready, start to find some movement through your fingers and your toes. Perhaps gently taking your head from side to side. And if you wish, as you inhale, reaching your arms up overhead for a nice big stretch. As you exhale, draw your arms back alongside you and then bring your knees in towards your chest. And when you're ready, rolling over onto your right hand side. And staying there until you're ready to come to a seated position. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Namaste. And happy Christmas.